Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So my name is Ashley. This is actually my first YouTube video ever. So to start, I'm just going to do a quick little get ready with me. As you can see, I just got out of the shower. So I'm just going to do a quick makeup tutorial and just go over some of the products that I use regularly. One of the first things I use when I'm getting ready to do my makeup is my Clinique moisturizing gel. So I have to use the gel simply because I do have acne issues and this has no oil in it. So this is the moisturizer I always use. My mom kind of raised me on using this. She uses it too. She just uses the regular lotion though. So you just want to rub that all into your face just to kind of moisturize, keep your face from getting dry. Even if you have oily skin, using moisturizer is important. The next thing I use would be my foundation. So the foundation I'm currently using, and I do switch brands a lot. This is more just based off of my skin color at the moment, because my skin does go from very, very pale to like mildly tan. So right now the color I'm using is Classic Ivory. It is the CoverGirl Outlast All Day Wear Foundation. But this is the color right now that best matches my skin tone. So this is the one I am using. If you do notice, I do have a bit of acne right now and my face is a little red on camera. I am currently dealing with some rosacea problems. So I'm trying to get that under control and I'm testing out different medicines. But it's kind of a constant battle. So that is why I have this redness kind of all over my face. But yeah, so I just use a standard beauty blender. Just make sure you have put some water on your beauty blender. And then you're just going to pat the foundation into your skin. And I will get below my chin and onto my neck, but that is one of the last things I do. I just want to make sure it's patting kind of all over my general face first. Alright, so, and I don't use eye primer. I don't have an eye primer, and right now I'm not using one. So when I put on my foundation, I do just kind of pat over my lids just to give them a base for my makeup to go onto. I'm not doing a very serious eye look today. So, but still, just to give a little base to what I will be doing to my eyes. After the foundation, I do my concealer, and right now for concealers, I wanted to try something new that I've been hearing good things about, so I have purchased the Maybelline New York Instant Age Rewind for erasing dark circles, and mine is in the shade Ivory. You can see right here. I really like this. I think it's a good concealer. The only thing for me, I'm more of a full coverage kind of girl, just given my skin issues with the redness and acne. I like to wear, you know, more full coverage makeup. That's just more of my scene, and I don't feel like this is really that full coverage. I think it's pretty, you know, mild in the coverage, but I think it is good. It's a very good concealer to use, and it, you know, it's not like a complete coverage of dark circles, but it does generally cover it up. You can just see, let's see, you can see right there where you can see the darkness a little bit, but generally it covers. It's just not very, very heavy. Alright, and after that I am going to, pardon me, I have a little bit of a cough right now. I'm going to go in with my NYX HD Studio Finishing Powder. So I use this as a setting powder right now. So I'm just going to go in, I'm going to put it under my eye, and then later on, after I apply bronzer, I will use it to just kind of make the bronzer a little more edged and just let it bake for a little bit. That way I have a little bit more of a sharp finish for my bronzer. Alright, so we're just gonna pat this under the eye, and it does look really white right now. I'll fix that in a little bit, but we want it to kind of set on there and just sit there until we are ready. Alright, so you can see it under my eye. It won't be like that when I'm done. Okie dokie. So, the bronzer I use is actually probably one of my biggest ride or die pieces. I use this all the time, and I will show you it. It's very beaten up. But this is my Tarte Park Avenue Princess Amazonian Clay waterproof bronzer. I live for this bronzer. I use it every day. Doesn't really matter my skin tone. As far as my skin tone ranges, it tends to always work. But you can see I use it constantly. She is a little beaten up, but I love this bronzer. So we're using her today too. Alright, so I just go in with it is more of a blended but angled brush. I think that's just better for the bronzer. I go in from here and then blend down to here, but just kind of following the line from the top of my ear to the corner of my mouth, just to create the edge. I start up here and I blend down for the bronzer. As you can see, it just kind of creates a good edge, gives me a good jaw definition, going under the jaw a little bit. But it just creates a nice edge. So I'll do that to the other side of my face, and then I'll go in and apply it up into the corners of my forehead, and then my nose, and underneath my lip. Alright, I'm just going to apply it up here a little bit, and just right in here on the temples, just to kind of give me some color. So a lot of people do use cream contour to contour and then go in with bronzer. For me, I think it's just more of a with my skin tone, I just don't see the necessity to use cream contour and bronzer. I think it just looks like it's a bit much on my skin tone. So I just use bronzer for contouring. I don't do both. I never have. That's just not really my, what I choose to do. But some people do it. It's more up to you and what you prefer. I just don't prefer to do that. Alright, so now that we are all bronzered, we are going to go back in with the setting powder, and this time I will use my beauty blender, and I'm just going to kind of carve on my cheekbone bronzer just to kind of give her an edge. And if you see, I just created that very white line on my face, and I'll let that sit for a little bit before I wipe it off. Alright, and then I do the same thing on my nose just to clean it up a little, because I do use the larger brush. I don't use a smaller brush even on my nose. So I'll just do this just so when I wipe it, it's a little more cleaned up. While that's setting, I'm just going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. So I use an e.l.f. little cream product for my eyebrows. It's in the shade Coffee. Always used it. Comes in a little container just like this. Here's the top. The e.l.f. brand has been worn off. This is also something I used very regularly. So it is a bit beaten up herself. If you can see in there, she's getting a little low. But yeah, so I use that to do my brows. I do like to have a bit more of a defined brow. So I like using the cream product on my brow. And I just go in with a little angled flat brush for my brow. And I just kind of fill it in, creating those little lines just so it's not too bold, but you can see the difference in my brow. Sometimes, depending on the day, I do have other brow products that are not so bold. Some powder products, and then a liquid eye product with the wand that you use that's a little more subtle. But generally, I'm more of a bolder brow kind of person. So I like to have the sharp edge on the brow, and you can see the difference in this one, which I haven't done yet in this one. Alright, so we're just going to finish the tail and then fill in this one. Alright. Okay. So my eyebrows are done. So now I'm just going to go in with a nice fluffy brush to just kind of get all of this setting powder off of my face. The other thing with the setting powder is it just kind of like brightens the areas that you apply it to. Again, I do use it on my contour just to kind of get rid of the little mess that might have been made, so it's more of a cleaner line. And then I do have another brush that I go in and just kind of wipe everything down. And just make sure it's all off before I move forward. Alright. So now that everything's kind of cleaned up, you see it's a little more of a straighter edge on the bronzer. I am just going to go in with a little more bronzer up at the top and everything. Just kind of come around. Alright. So now that I have a little bit of color, we'll go in with a blush and a highlighter. So for blush, I actually use an eyeshadow shade that I got in when I used to be an Ipsy subscription member. And this was an eyeshadow shade that I got in one of my subscription months. The brand is Luna, and it is a very pretty coral eyeshadow shade called Jace. It's very pretty. I love this color. It's a nice coral color. This is the top of the lid. It's by brand Luna. I really like it. I do use it for eyeshadow occasionally, but I do use it more as a blush, just because it's a good color to apply to the apples of your cheeks. It's a nice color. It's not too pink or red. It's not super bright, which I don't need a lot just because of I do have the rosacea that does occasionally seep through as I'm breaking my products. But for the highlighter, I am currently using a Wet n Wild highlighter. I love their highlighters. They're beautiful and they're bright and they're really good pigmentation. Currently, I have the Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade 333B, and it's Golden Flower Crown. So this is going to be the top of the packaging. I broke the lid off, so that just kind of comes off. But yeah, it's a beautiful gold color. It's really pretty on the skin. So I'm just going to do a quick swatch for you. And you can just see all the color it kind of gives. It's such a pretty color. So yeah, so that's the shade I'm into right now for my highlighter. Those shades change as well. It just does depend with my skin because sometimes you can see it. I do apply a little bit to the tip of my nose. That's one of the things I do like to highlight, along with the arch of my nose. There we go. It's got a nice little highlight going on there. I do some on my Cupid's bow of my lip. Just kind of give it a nice little highlight. And then I'll use a little fluffier brush just to do right on my upper of my cheekbone. Just to kind of give it a little glow. I don't want it to be necessarily as harsh as what I do on my nose, but just to kind of create a little highlight. Alright, and then, so last but not least, we're going to do eyes. My eyes, I'm not doing anything crazy to. I don't want to do a bright eye today or anything. So we're just going to do, you know, a very, very, very basic eye look. So I'm just going to use, and this is an older product. It's one of those things that I just don't want to get rid of. I would rather you just use all of it and then I'll get rid of it. But it's a very old single pot Maybelline eyeshadow shade. Is in the shade 10 Vanilla Shimmer. You can see it is beaten up. This is one of their older packagings, but I just don't want to get rid of it, and I still really like it and I use it, so I don't get rid of it. So I'm just going to go in with a fluffy brush. I just want to create like a little bit of a shimmer over my eye a little bit, nothing crazy, just to kind of add a little bit to it so it's not the same color as the rest of my face. I'm just going to add a little bit there, and that's pretty much all we're going to do as far as shadow is concerned today. We're not going to go really in depth. Then I'm going to go back with my smaller highlighting brush that I used for my nose and Cupid's bow and get a little more highlighter and just apply it right under my brow bone, right under the brow, and then right in the corner of my eye, just to give my eyes a little bit of dimension. Alright. And the second to last step we're going to do today is going to be my mascara. So I am using the Milk Makeup Kush mascara right now. Comes in this very heavy, almost like stainless steel packaging. It's a really good mascara. I think it lasts, and I like how it kind of shapes my eyes, or my eyelashes. It just adds a little bit of volume, but it does lengthen a little bit as well, which I like. I do have nice eyelashes. There's not really anything specific that I want to do to my eyelashes. You know, they are a good length, and I do have a bit of volume in my eyelashes. I just like to kind of accentuate those things specifically. So we'll just add a little to the top and just a little to the bottom, just to kind of add another layer of dimension to your eye. Then I'm just going to go in and do this other eye really quick. Alright. And I am one of the makeup people who prefer to do a 2-layer of mascara. So I do one eye, I do the other eye, and then I will come back and redo them again, just to add to what the product's already done. If you see, I think the second layer just adds more length to it, but you can just kind of see the length that it adds. But I only do that to the top. I don't want the lower ones any longer. They're fine. And then we'll go in and do the other eye. It just adds a little bit more length, which I like, so I do that. Alright, so generally we're done. I'm going to add a little bit of lip liner. Start eyelining this bottom lip here. And then I'm going to create the cross up here at my Cupid's bow. And then come down each side. And I'm just going to fill it in a little bit. I don't really want any lip product today. I just want a little bit of color. So we're just going to fill it in and kind of give it a little bit of shade. Alright. Alright. Just adds a little bit of pigment. So for today, I am done with my little get ready with me, showing you the products that I use pretty regularly. I will be making more videos. As I did say, this is my first video, so it's something, you know, that I'm getting comfortable with and I'm still learning to be comfortable with, but I just wanted to go ahead and do the first video and get started and go ahead and start working on my channel. So thank you for watching this video. If you did like it, please give it a like or a comment. If you have any ideas for videos for me in the future, just leave them down below in the comments section and subscribe to my channel.